the DJ Mag Top 100 Awards. You did very well last year.
Yeah, it was the first entry we had, and it was great to be in there. And I think we're really happy as well that Hard Dance got a place in the list of all other big names, because it really deserves it, I think.
And what position again was it that you took last year?
97 or something.
97.
I don't know.
91 it was.
Somewhere in 97.
Somewhere close to the bottom. Where do you hope to be tonight?
I have to be honest. We didn't really think of it as well. Like, just we're happy we're in it, you know. And let's hope for the highest place, of course, because it would be a great honor to have. But
well, number one is probably a bit too much to ask right now.
Yeah, I think so. You know, and it's a little big step for us to do at the moment. So I think we should be happy with any place in there, I think.
But you think you will be in there? Have you had any campaigning? Been doing any campaigning?
We haven't heard anything, so we'll just see what happens.
See what happens. You'll be there tonight, though.
Yeah, we're gonna be there. Just like it's a party as well, so why not be there?
Absolutely. You've also, I think you're making records now for 10 years this year.
Yeah, we started out, I think, when was it, 99?
Yeah, I think the first release was in 2001, but then we were like 16.
Yes,
I was 15, so yeah, hobby work.
But exactly 10 years then. Yeah.
So it has been quite a long journey for you.
It's been a long journey, but it went by like really quick, because you do so many stuff during the weekends, and you're producing all week in the studio. So yeah, if I'm looking back, like our big tracks, you know, some are really already from 2003 or 4, you know, and we still play them sometimes. So it's it's really weird.
But I think the last last 4 or 5 years I've been really professional. We reached a lot with it, and in the beginning was just a hobby, and without a clue what was going to happen, you know. So.
And you say 4 or 5 years ago this happened?
Yeah, I think the 2007 was the beginning of the big boom of Showtek.
What triggered that development in Showtek's career?
Well, I think if you're producing every day in the studio, and I think all producing and DJ guys want to have the same goals, like reaching out the most of it. And it's like once you got on the big stages, you know, which started in Holland for us, and yeah, then you just want more and more, you know. And if you got some big tracks going on and you're in the studio and really busy with it, and then you're on those events playing them, and then you're just like, okay, we want to go all over the world, you know, and just play for all those people everywhere.
So just at one point you were booked at a certain stage.
I remember the first big party, which was Shockers, right?
Yeah,
I remember walking in the city of Eindhoven, where we're from, it's the south of Holland, and I was walking in the city, and just the promoter of the car, the bookings agent, called me like, "Hey, you guys are playing at the Shockers," and which was a techno festival back then, and it was the first big. We were like, "Wow, what the is happening right now?" And that was the beginning of like, "Wow, what's going to happen?" Was 10,000 plus. And that was the beginning, the first moment you're like, hey, this is really cool.
It's kind of an addiction, because I have to be honest, I've always dreamed about making music for a living, but like being on stage, I never really thought of it. But then if you make music and you're getting successful, you just want to play your tracks for everybody.
I guess once you get on a big stage like that, you have to see it really as the beginning and not as a destination.
Yes, exactly.
That's how it was. Yeah.
Was that also how you saw it at the time?
I think so, because the moment you get on stage for the first time and you see 10,000 people, I think not even everybody knew us back then. It was just real the beginning. We're like, wow, this must go on, you know, the show must go on.
Yeah, well, I think there is a certain point in your career when that's also what we're going to talk about now. It's like you're at a certain level of your career, and then you want to reach the next goal, but that takes a lot more than all the first steps you get, because in many ways the first steps go, you know, but
naturally.
Yeah, naturally. But if you want to really be part of all the big guys on the big stages, you really have to make some extra effort for it just to get there, because it's really hard.
So what was the first thing you had to learn to get ahead from that first platform?
Well, for us it was really important. I think we decided to go a little more independent and really go for our own career, you know, and follow our own path and destiny. And that was like searching the right people around you is, I think, the first most important thing, because your focus should be on music. You know, if you're busy by emailing and Twittering and Facebooking the whole day by yourself, you get crazy, and your studio time is gone. So I think it's really important to get some people around you who can manage you, can help you with your Facebook and stuff, and you can start focusing on your music.
And so other people will set the goals and help you reach them.
Yeah, and I think if you're surrounded by different people as well, you get different influences, and they just help you create a great vision on how you should get there.
But I think it's a teamwork, of course, because everything starts with yourself. But sometimes, because you're such a musician, you don't see other ways to walk. You know, you see just the way you want to see it. But sometimes people from outside the scene or would do a different kind of job, they have a different kind of view on what you should do, and that sometimes help making better decisions than you should normally do. So it's very important to work with people that are totally don't give a shit about what's happening right now, but they look like 10 years further than you do.
Yeah.
You think, okay, what's going to happen next year? What's going to happen next year? But they look 10 years ahead. Like, what's going to happen in 10 years? Where do you want to be? Write down your goals. Write down your things you want to do in life. What's the thing? What's going on in your head? You know?
I have to be honest as well. If you're 18 or 19, then you don't really think about it. I think if you get a little older, not that we're like really old, but then you're making certain points, like I want to go there, and you really have to walk that way. Otherwise, it's not going to happen, I think.
So if you did not have these people around you and you were 18, 19 years old, walking around but like a headless chicken, this would never have happened.
Yeah, but I think it works.
Think so, yeah.
It works on levels, because you start with something, and then you need people to book you in the festivals, and then you meet new people, and they bring you on certain levels. But then there's like the big thing, what's going on, and then you have to make a team. Just the two of us in the studio, and of course we talk a lot with each other, even in the plane. If you fly to the States, we talk a lot of what's going to happen. But you need those people outside the scene with a totally different kind of view, with experience, and that's I think music is only 50% of what's really happening right now for us. It's of course a lot more, but music
50?
is not.
15?
Yeah, 50.
Oh.
Music is not everything. Of course, the productions have to be good, the show have to be good, but there's a lot more than just that, you know. So.
And do you have to start thinking outside of the border of the Netherlands before you even reach the top here in Holland?
Well, I think the most important thing is that you always should go for what you think, what feels the best for yourself. I think always follow your intuition, and it starts by that, I think. And if you just create music from passion, from your heart, I think you reach the best tracks out of it. But the next point is, okay, get my performance everywhere, you know. And like we started to work with a production company last year, and let's say, okay, let's make a big show instead of the regular DJ set we have, just for people, because you know they want something else. You know, if you look at the Q-Dance parties here in Holland, they have the shows, the lasers and stuff, and we were like, okay, we also want our own little show when we go abroad. You know, so
people will remember Showtek.
Yeah, we got a great show. We got this CO2 gun on stage, which she's performing with, and we got a great visual show with us, and yeah, it brings something extra to the show, and people really remember you by then. I think
it's also very important that if you reach the level of being, and I don't want to brag or something, but we want to make Showtek more a brand, you know, like it's a company. You have to invest, you know. Without investing, without having meetings and talk with people, you don't take that extra step that brings you to the next level. And what he said before, you know, getting invited for being a resident DJ in a club is really cool, and it was awesome, but that just happened, you know. But being between the real big names, and I just lay like Afrojack or David Guetta, that's like the next level. How are you going to get there, you know, and especially with the harder music, because normally they put you in a box, you know. It's like, hell, you play hard music, you go play there, and the main stage is for the other people, you know. And that's like, hey, that shit, you know, like we don't think like that. We just like follow our heart, and we think we can go as sky's the limit, you know. How are you going to do that? And then it's very important that you invest in your company, and that's why like Unlimited Productions is a company. They do like Ferry Corsten, Sander van Doren. They make the show of Showtek a little bit more than a regular show should be. So that's definitely something that is really important for people who go and visit us.
But it's the same with the HDE. It's also very important just to show people how professional the scene is, you know. And if you see all the video stuff that's been played here, and how amazing great the parties are, and just how many people are involved. It's such a professional way of doing business in music, you know. And it's good. I think hard music is really getting a certain place between all the other names.
and your style of music can be played on the main stage?
I think that's definitely possible, because if you look for example, America, where everybody's talking about America these days, there's a big booming in dance music on the moment. Well, if and with all respect, but in the Netherlands we never play with Ferry Corsten or with a Afrojack on one stage. But in the States they grew up with a lot of different kind of music. They grew up with rock and with pop and with dance. And if Showtek can be there, of course, on a stage where all the other DJs are playing, that means that we are going to the next level.
If I can, what we really found out the last 2 years is most important thing is if you grow up in Holland, and you're just you go to the events here, the raves, you get a certain state of mind about how people think and how they should react on music. And since we've played like last 2 years all over the world, and you just try out new stuff in your music, then you see like, wow, they like much more stuff than just the regular influence they are used to, you know. And the good thing is the Dutch crowds are really critical crowd, but in the US, for example, we can play a lot of other stuff between the hard dance stuff. They don't mind. They're really open-minded, but it gives you something back that you can use in the studio, and that's why you get certain feeling like, okay, we can do more. You know, we can go broader, and if they don't like it here, that's fine, but you can play it in the other part of the world, you know?
So even though the music and the scene is rooted here in the Netherlands, you've been able to expand your sound across the border.
Yeah. I think it's also really important that if we play in the Netherlands, for example, we play at Cubase Festival, and if it was us, we could have played a lot more different stuff, but it was like a little bit tricky. But I think there's a new generation coming up. You know, every year there's a new people coming up, and if you give them new music they never heard of, like, hey, what's this? But the next time they hear it again, and so the next generation grows up with different kind of music, which means in the end there's a lot of more variety in music. And I like that. I like to go to a festival where the Prodigy and Sander van Doorn and Showtek and Skrillex and Deadmau5 is playing on the same stage. That would be awesome. And that's what's happening for us right now. We're playing between bigger names, and that's for us perfect. We can do what we want to do. And for us it's just experience, you know, it's a new thing.
Do you think an event like Electric Daisy Carnival, where you played this year with all these artists, would work here in Holland as well?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah, definitely. It would be awesome.
It's a matter of time, but I think it would work. Yeah.
Because if you go to Lowlands or Awakenings or something like that, there's a totally different crowd going there, I think. But I think there's a possibility to mix everything up. You know, there's like if it's possible between people, why not with music? You know, come on.
I think people here, certainly me, would be interested to hear what the experience was like for you with Electric Daisy in Las Vegas this year. What kind of party is it compared to the big events here?
You want to hear well, okay, but that's a funny story, because when we came there, it was like the American experience. It's way different. You got your own Showtek trailer. There's champagne in there. Like, hey, what's happening here, man? It's like it's America, you know. It's like the superstar thing. But then you go to the stage, and seriously, we didn't know what to expect, because we were backstage, and who was playing before us? Dash Berlin was playing before us, which is Dash Berlin, which is a pretty well-known DJ for his trance music. And we were backstage, and Roger was connecting the cables and stuff. He was like, I'm like, whoa, what's going to happen? And we came on stage. I think there were like 20, 30,000 people just like waiting to get like the last hour of energy. The sun came up, 42 degrees, and we just gave him a big Showtek boom, and it was like, I think it's in the top 5 best gigs seriously we ever had. And it doesn't mean we need 25,000 people to have this experience.
More tijd.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean we need 25,000 people to have the experience, but just to play for such an open-minded crowd, we played like even some house tracks and dubstep and hardstyle and everything mixed up and mashed up, and they went so nuts. It was like I have no words for it. It was just insane.
And the production values, were they as high as they are here in Holland?
It was top notch. Yeah.
And
at what time did you play?
We closed down for 5 to 6.
And the sun came up.
When the sun came up, I was like, "Hey, everybody, look behind you!" And everybody was like, "What?" And then the sun just came up, because it was a big racetrack, racetrack. And so the sun came up, and then just suddenly, from out of nowhere, it was like 43 degrees. Like, what the hell is happening? And then just it went nuts. And I don't know, it's one of the best gigs ever. And also for us, a new experience, because we're waiting for this moment to try this stuff out, and we went to also Afrojack and Chester's performance on the same party just to look what's happening, and it was amazing. I never saw this before. I have to be honest. We never saw this before.
But what I wanted to say earlier is those kind of events are one of our goals in our career. Like, okay, we have to be there, and that you don't get there naturally. That's what I wanted to say earlier. So that's why we took certain steps to get to this level.
This wasn't your first gig in the United States.
No, it wasn't. I think our first one.
But we started out small as well. We still do smaller shows. We started out for like 300 people, like, hey, New York, wow.
It's still fun though.
Still fun though. But now there's a big difference between 300 and 30,000. But still, it was you start small. We still do small shows because it's like intense, so it doesn't really matter. But I think for us, we have to be honest. We don't play the same set as we do in the Netherlands. We play a lot of more different kind of music. But to be honest, we are getting older. Like our taste is different, changing as well. Because you don't eat the same food every year. So your taste is changing, and it's the same with music. I listen to like different kind of music these days than I did like 10 years ago, and that's how it goes. And that's the next step.
Well, it's taken you very far so far, so I can imagine this can work indeed in Europe as well.
I think the big thing that's going on in the States is it will be...
I think it's already happening here. It's just like it's already happening because I think all the big talents come in Holland. There's a lot of talent in dance music. Only thing I want to mention is that since we really followed our intuition and like, okay, let's change some other music, because I know when we were like starting here in Holland, there's a lot of happening also on the internet. People talk a lot, but I think the most important thing is to do your own style and like let's see what happens on the dance floor, And if it doesn't work in Holland, it can work anywhere. It's the same with what he said with food. They eat Asian food in Asia, and then we try it here as well. Like, oh, it's great, It's the same with music. So, and I think that really helped us to expand our sound and to be more have a more variety in your sets, which creates a different feeling, I think, on the dance floor.
But I think the next thing that's also important, we really invest in the company. We have our own PR agency in the States. We have our own bookings agency in the States. We have a manager now. We have a tour manager going with us every gig. So we're always with 3 people. So we just investing, and trying to get the max out of it, and hope you get to that level where if you reach that level, then it's sky's the limit.
It's really important to be happy with what you already reached, because if you want too much, it's like you're getting lost in your head. I think
you're still enjoying yourself.
Yes, it's the most important thing.
But seriously, what we want to try say as well. Of course, we are focusing, or not focusing, but we are playing in the States a lot these days. But it doesn't mean we don't like the Dutch crowd anymore. It's just like, for us now, the States is a new market. It's booming. Showtek is popular. We're going there. But if we play in a Dutch crowd, it's still awesome. And we hope in Europe it will be the same everywhere in the next few years. So.
Does anyone have a question for the guys from Showtek?
Anyone?
Yeah, you.
You said, guys, that it's really right to have your people around you. What is your own vision in 5 to 10 years from now?
Well, I think what we think is really important is that it should like get maybe some more subgenres as well. So it gets broader, I think, and it's already happening right now. You got even more rawer stuff. I think some more commercial stuff and just the regular stuff. And I think the more people are getting involved, the bigger the scene gets, and that's the only thing missing right now. There's not a lot of American hardstyle producers, or from Japan or something. And that's the problem. Like if you look at other genres like house music, they pop up from every country. You got talents in Brasilia, in America, Mexico. They are everywhere. And that makes a scene in a certain city, for example, and then it starts to be boomed everywhere, and that's the only thing missing at the moment, I think.
We were talking to Hartwell, if you don't know if you know him, as house DJ, and he was like, I was trying to make a hardstyle track, but how the hell do you make those kicks? I'm like, I can learn you, come to the studio, just a joke, but still, it would be awesome if there are more different kind of people trying to make a different kind of harder music, and to be honest, I think sometimes I wish there would be. There are some tracks these years. For example, I love the track from Noise Control's "Give Me Love." That's an example for a new kind of hard track. I really love as Showtek to play everywhere, and I wish there would be even more diversity like that in the scene. And that's what we try and do as well. And sometimes it's maybe too strange or something, but it still works for us. Where we play, it works, and that's why we want to show people like, okay, maybe it doesn't work everywhere, but where we play, it works. And it would be awesome if there are, what my brother told before, there would be more different kind of the harder dance music instead of the what's going on right now. And that's, I with all respect, I like it, but that's the wish, you know. That's the dream.
More diversity, and you're working towards that yourself as well.
Yeah, and I think the more people try out stuff, the bigger it gets, I think.
Because if I listen to some sets, you know, there's not a lot of build up, build down. It's like a flat, not a flat, but it's like the same, you know. And I hear a lot of really cool tracks, but I sometimes hear a track if I put another kick on this track, it will be played by a lot of more DJs than just hardstyle DJs.
Yeah, exactly.
And it would be awesome, for example, if what's his name again? He played electronic stereophonic, which was it at the dance tour. Don Diablo. He played electronic stereophonic. He just took the vocals and he put it in his own house beat. But that's a good example of a great DJ from totally another genre playing our music. And I like that as a producer. That's awesome. Because as a producer, you're not like an artist. I don't paint for just one kind of person. I want to paint so everybody likes it. You know, if they like it, yeah, then it's not my problem.
Okay. Anyone else?
Somebody?
Yeah, you?
Yeah, you're talking about that Europe maybe can be once as in America with the festivals and all kinds of different DJs.
Yeah.
But isn't it, to me it seems like it will be the other way around. That they will become critical as well. Because they're not used to it right now and when they hear more.
That's a good thing what you're saying. All right. So that's why we also trying new stuff now, because otherwise you get known by what you already been doing, you know, and that's important to show your new stuff to the new crowds as well, so they get used to it.
Yeah.
And I think like the festival wise and how many people are going to festivals, it's bigger in Europe. I don't know, you know.
But I think maybe what he means is that the people in the United States don't know as much about dance music maybe as they do here, so they like everything and they want everything at the festival, and once they develop a taste,
they're gonna change as well.
Style, you get big festivals there with all playing hardstyle music or all playing trance music.
They don't.
The thing is,
they don't think in hokjes daar, hè?
They don't think in hokjes daar, nee. No, but
maybe they start to do that.
To be honest, if I look to our Twitter people who are following us, the people they like are Eminem and Snoop Dogg and David Guetta and stuff. So I can see that those people who are following Showtek, they also like Ferry Corsten or Armin van Buuren, which means they have a really.
I think he's right.
I totally understand what you mean, but the people who grow up there, they are like 5 years old and they hear Snoop Dogg and Guetta on the radio every time, so they hear a lot of more. Yeah, they listen to a lot of more different kind of music, and I think in Holland, it's also the festival-wise. You know, if you go to a party where the music is played you like, but then that's the only music, yeah, there's nothing happening. But if somebody plays different kind of music, it takes a while, but it takes a new generation maybe, you know, to change it. And I don't say you have to change the music, but it would be great if it would be more there would be more diversity, and that's why we like the States in the moment, because it's what's happening there, but it's insane. But I think it's already happening in the UK. If you go to the UK, it's a lot different than even it's in Holland. So it's dubstep, for example, is really popular in the UK. And if you drop a big fat dubstep beat in the middle of your set, they're like, "Wow, what's happening?" And I don't mean you have to do it because people like it. Now, if you like it as a DJ, why shouldn't you play it? If you like it, why not? And yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for being here, and we wish you the best of luck tonight with the DJ.
Thank you guys for listening. Thank you.